Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P-Farm. Think it right, out here in the labs with my new logo, rocking my red, doing what I do for you. I got a nice short lesson. Today is going to be a short lesson, but a page and a half of information, but it's good information. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thing is mission, and yeah, that's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thing is way of life. Through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission, to get all right thinkers to know thyself. I'm on mine every day. My plan is to get out here and get you the information you need so you can be the best you can be with the help of me. Let's rock now. I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. When I get done, you will. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. Yeah, that's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. That's okay. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my app, be true. You see, this is chapter 6. We're going to talk about my man. That's Tahuti. And you see the ibis bird and you see a baboon. Those are different phases that Tahuti represents. Okay? The ibis bird, because it has a special unique ability to wade through the water and look like it's writing when it's picking, and like it's writing. So that's the ibis bird is one of the symbols. And you got the baboon. And the baboon sits, look like he's in contemplation, look like she's thinking. So they consider him wise. Excuse me. So now, let's talk about right thinkers. Let's talk about Tahuti. It's spelled D-J-E-H-U-T-I. But the T is pronounced with the D sound. And in China, they do the same thing with the T sound. It's the D sound. I don't get involved in that, but that's what it is. I learned that, and that's why I keep passing it on. All right. So now let's talk about Gnosis or thought. Tahuti is our thought, our mind. He's God's mind, so he's the mind of all humans. That's why he has a title. Okay, Tahuti. Tahuti, excuse me. Gnosis. What Gnosis means? Gnosis means knowing something intuitively without having to think about it. You know it. Like with me and God, I ain't got to think about God. I know God. I'm fully aware of God. When you get that gnosis with God, you've reached the level of what we call nihas, holy Christhood, whatever it is. But that's the awakening. You realizing who you are. So that's the gnosis. Having information and having knowledge are not necessarily the same thing. Why? Because there are two forms of knowledge. Well, yes, they are. One is direct and the other is indirect. Indirect knowledge is something what you learn and are convinced of intellectually. Direct knowledge, on the other hand, watch this, is something you experience. That's the knowledge of God that I want all my right thinkers to experience. You have to have it for yourself. It ain't what you read. It ain't what I said. It's what you experience for yourself. Now you have gnosis. It is something, watch this, which requires no thinking to understood, excuse me, no thinking to be understood, excuse me. It is being, what? Knowing. Knowledge as opposed to what? Learning or thinking knowledge. I can enlighten you. I can give you information. That's direct knowledge. Okay, I'm giving it to you. Indirect, excuse me. Indirect means you're going to learn it. Direct means you know it. Why? Through your experience. It's a personal experience. God experience is personal for every individual. That's why I say if it's 9 billion people, it's 9 billion ways to get to God. So that's the concept. And watch this. One may learn about a flower. Watch this. About what? Reading. But one does not become the flower. Okay? Like the elements of our God and goddesses. I can't become air. I can't become the earth. So I have to learn about them, study them, so I know about them. Watch this. Now, to know something intuitively is an effect to become, watch this, to become it within one's consciousness. I become God consciously. That's why I say you got to become God conscious. I'm thinking God all the time. Now, at one time, God last thing on my mind. So it's a mindset. And to be conscious of it is Gnosis. In order, watch this, for Gnosis to occur, it is necessary to become, you ready? Identify with the object of your study. They tell you, eat the gods. That means learn about them, understand them, put the time into learn to understand it, and then you mimic them, you become like them, and you get the powers. One may accomplish, watch this through concentrated thought and daily meditation. That's the way to get to God. You will not get in contact with God without meditation. However, there are millions of individual objects in the universe. To become one with each of them would take what? A very long, at least millions of lifetime reincarnation to learn a lesson as you go through life to keep learning a lesson on lesson. Watch this. But the simpler way to achieve supreme wisdom, aka knowledge of self, Tahuti, by what? Identifying, listen, and becoming one in consciousness with the Netter, aka God, who is the source of all objects in existence. Becoming one with or merging with, aka communing with God, is therefore what? The same as becoming one with all existence, having all knowledge, all power, omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. That's becoming one with God. Man can do that through, watch, living, being, doing, okay? Much in the world, watch this, much in the world is information. We in the age of Aquarius. That's the information age, the water barrel. The water is knowledge, information. He's pouring it down. So if you're ignorant of anything at this point in time, that's it. You probably what? Information is everywhere. Instantly. Excuse me. Much of the world is information. We have been told, okay? We're in the age of, I'm going to stop at the, whoa, I don't know, it's all that track, excuse me. Becoming one with the, okay, now, is therefore the same as becoming one with others. Okay, I did that. Now, much in the world is information. Again, we have pouring down on us. Siri, you can go geek, Jeeves, and whoever you want, you can get information. So we have been told much is information gathered where? By our senses, the body, the 5 senses. We see it, we smell it, we hear it, we touch it, and we taste it. That's how we deal with stuff in the physical world, which are what? Specially made to what? Gather information. That's what the senses is for. The brain can't get that information, but at the body we land it to the brain. And from the physical realm, which you are now, to the extent that what they can, this forms the basis of what we believe to be what? Real and true. This process constitutes our psychological conditioning into what? Certain modes of behavior and certain beliefs. There we go. That belief system is a detriment to a lot of us. Why? I got time for that. This is the formation of a limited intellect. Ignorance is limited. However, there we go. If our senses were what? were designed differently. For example, if we had the eyes of an owl, the canine senses or smell, the hearing of a bat, our perceptions of the world would be quite different. But our perceptions would lead to different beliefs about what the world is, and therefore our experiences would be quite different. Similarly, if we would see things, watch this, see matter the way a particular accelerator or an electronic microscope sees it, we would live in a world of pure energy held together by that which is unseen, consciousness, the force. Okay? Now, due to their limitations in the human senses, miss a whole other reality. Watch this. Which lies beyond what? Ordinary senses, meaning the five senses, is something else. The absolute truth. There you go. Which is what? God. Which underlies what? All things in the physical realm and cannot be sensed. Watch this. With ordinary senses designed only for the world of duality. The human body is reactive, not active. It reacts to everything it takes and touches. It tastes and smells. It sees. It hears. It touches. It tastes. These are things that the body does in the physical realm, which is cool. The realm of duality. Maya. This is the world, the physical world. So watch this. So therefore, in order to know, here we go, that is to have gnosis. It's spelled Gnosis. The G is silent. I'm with Cat Williams. Why they put it there then? Gnosis. I hear people pronounce that way, so I try to let them know. Or, watch this. Therefore, in order to know, that is to have gnosis. Or what? Gnosis is what? Experiential knowledge. I mean, you have experienced it for yourself. As a right thinker, your goal is to have the experience of God connection between you and Him for yourself. Now you have gnosis of God, not belief. So, when you have experiential knowledge of what? Of the transcendental and divine essence of everything, which is God, we must be able to connect with its divine essence to what? To perceive its connection with its creator. When you go into the meditative state, when you're on the verge of death, something like that, God will step in, you will have your moment. That's called a but God moment. Don't wait to that to realize who God is in your life. I'm just trying to tell you. Any other essence that may be compiled by the use of your senses or other information gathering devices will only be illusionary. Understand that. In order to perceive absolute, non-changing truth, we must become one with that absolute truth. And that's done through meditation, communing with your higher self. That's the absolute truth that's in you. You have to figure that out. Every individual has the right to do that for themselves. And as a teacher, my goal is to get you to do that for yourself. That's my mission. This is the essence, watch this, of our journey with home. The spirit wants to go home. If the person the spirit is in don't wake it up, it can't go. It's got a mulligan, do-over, reincarnation. That's the concept. It's a life cycle. So the absolute, watch this, the absolute experience of our divine nature will what? Will provide us a state of what? You ready? Peace, supreme peace, aka Hotep. We will have what? Completed a circuit. What's that? Come full circle, 360. Start from here, and once you start there, there's no end to it. It's going to keep going around, hence the Ouroboros. But God circumscribes Himself as the dot and creates everything around Him. That's what we do individually, the same thing. We have the same power. When we're made in His image, we can think and do and be just like He did. Moving on. That's becoming God-like, one with God. We will come full circle, aka from who? From Amen, which is what? Which is the hidden reality, from where all human souls come to what? Gad, which is earth. Come from the hidden, you come into the physical, the earth. And the manifest what? Physical reality. And then what? And then go back to Amun. Amen. Spirit, matter. Yin, yang. Okay? Spirit, physicality. You go from the physicality back to the spirit realm, aka home, or to some Christians, heaven, whatever you want to call it. But you have to do some things for that to happen. So whatever you call it ain't important. It's how you do it. Again, I keep telling you, it's in the action. The WRIGHT. WRIGHT is action. Good action, good results. Bad WRIGHT, negative results. Simple as that. Moving on. To do, watch this. Now, watch this. To do this, manifest knowledge and understanding, going from physical back to spiritual. By doing this is what? You becoming God-like. Even what? While still alive. That's the name of this game in this realm. You got to become conscious and become God-like in the flesh. That way, when the flesh leaves, the spirit goes back home. If it's enlightened, that's the caveat. All dogs go to heaven. No, you don't. Everybody go to heaven. No, you don't. So that's why if it was that easy, you would have no motive to be good, be righteous, and do the right thing. If everybody just went. So there's a understanding. The true way to know God, is there a true way? Yes. Watch. The true way to know God, you pay attention, is by looking within and not out. Why? Because our deepest self is God. And regardless of your sex, your race, your creed, or religion you profess. Therefore, in order to know God, it is necessary to what? Become God-like in the flesh. That's the spiritual awakening that we're trying to get you to understand about life. For those who follow me, you know that's the goal. Those who don't, know what you know. I don't know. But I'm trying to get those who follow me to know you need to be your best self by what? Becoming God-like while here on earth. Get enlightened. Know thyself. And watch this. You got to become God. Why? It is necessary to be God. Why? In the Egyptian story of Senehi, the king, who is a symbol. Watch this. He was the symbol of what? A perfected human being, aka, you ready? Haru. That's the spirit in you waking up, becoming itself, knowing itself. Watch this. It's said to have. Okay? The concept is the symbol of perfected human being is what? Haru. To enlighten you. Excuse me. Watch this. Flown to heaven and united with the sun disk, the divine body of the king merged with its maker. I understand the spirit going back, but we know the physical body stays here. So I try to tell you that story about they came and saw Christ and he was gone, stoned, rolled away. Yeah, but that's because he left. He didn't go to heaven. He just left out the damn room that he was in. But the body don't go. Just the spirit that's inside the body. That's the essence of us as human beings, our spiritual self. Watch this. Now, in the Egyptian system, the faculty of wisdom is symbolized by what? The ibis bird. I told you that earlier. The faculty of truth, watch this, is symbolized by what? Mayat's feather. The feather of the ibis bird, which is white, and it's the white feather. So usually they say the ostrich feather, but I know conceptually it's the feather of the ibis bird, which is from Tahuti. Moving on. And now in the Indian philosophical system, watch this, the goddess of wisdom, Saraswati, is often shown what? Seated on a white swan. We got the feather, they got the whole swan. Watch this. Now the ibis of Egypt and the swan of India are both what? White plumage. The birds with white plumage, white feathers. Signifying what? The purity of consciousness. Excuse me, of conscious thought. That means your thoughts are pure. Your thoughts are good. Your thoughts are divine. And watch this. Signifying the purity of conscious thought, permanent with what? Wisdom, truth, and righteousness. When you put all those qualities together in a human being, you become God-like in the flesh. Watch this. Now, for the sake of clarity, From here on out, the Supreme Being will be referred to as God. Okay? We know now who God is. We understand. With all capitals and all other aspects, when the divine principles or projections of the Supreme Being will be referred to as God with the little G-O-D-S. Okay? When I've heard my daughter tell me, when I asked her about God a few years ago, she said, God with the big G or God with the little G. I had no idea what she was talking about. So we met at a level where we on the same page. So that's good. Now you see right here, you see Isis spread out with her wings. That's the wings of the falcon. You see her, Saraswati, she's sitting on a white dove. Okay, it all means having wisdom, having knowledge of self, your higher self. Okay, it says here, ancient Egyptian goddess of wisdom, Aset. Her symbol is the feather of the hawk. Above right, you got the Hindu goddess. She's the goddess of wisdom, Saraswati. Truth and learning, Saraswati. Her image is shown on a white swan, indicating purity of her consciousness. You purify yourself by what? Right action, right thinking. Ancient Egyptian teachers, watch this, about the culture of knowledge. They didn't do belief. They didn't have a belief system. They had a gnosis. They had a knowledge system. They knew. Sorry. A devotee to Aset is one who what? Ponders sacred matters and seeks therein for what? Hidden truth. Truth had to be found. Why? They hide it. Why? It takes a little while. It takes some work. So you got to get your work together, put the work in, and search and go in search of the truth. Watch it. It's what to be found, but what you work for, so to speak. Like that girl, you just can walk into it and no, if you ain't got game, you ain't got no swag, you might have a problem. So that's the understanding when it comes to the truth. You got to have your swag. We all, watch this, is in the all. It is also true that what? The all is in all. You get the concept? While all is in the all, that's creation, God is in his creation, it is also true that the all, which is God, is in the all, which means he's in his creation. To him who truly understands the truth have come with great knowledge of self. That's the most true. Self-knowledge is the best knowledge you can have. Salvation, understand this, is what? The freeing of the soul from what? Is bodily egoistic fetters that you cause in yourself, and what? Becoming a God. How? Through knowledge of self and wisdom from experiencing, practicing, controlling the forces of what? The cosmos. Luke, use the force. Right thinkers, use the force. Why? Instead of being a slave to them by not knowing and subduing what? Your lower nature. And through awakening to the higher self, aka Haru, and by that, what happens? You're in the cycle of rebirth and dwelling with the netters who direct and control the great planes, the hereafter, the next level, next plane, the conscious realm where all good enlightened spirits go. The unenlightened spirits reincarnate. That's the concept. Now, men and women are to become God-like. How? Through a life of a virtue, life of virtue, righteousness, and the cultivation of what? The spirit through what? Scientific knowledge. Meaning there's proof. I tell you, the heart conscious is spelled with CONSCIENCE, which is the science of knowing that the conscious is the head conscious, the human conscious. When you cease to exist, this conscious is thrown away. They have no use for it. All the memories in the heart. That's the science. Okay? And they knew that a long time ago. Watch this. And with practice of bodily daily discipline, I work out, I meditate, I keep myself in shape. All three aspects you have to cover: mind, body, and spirit. Last one. Watch this. This is my favorite. Make your life the subject of intense inquiry. I've done that for the last 30 years. And what happened? In this way, you will discover its goal. direction, and its destiny. Another lesson called my spiritual destiny for you. To know God, strive to grow in stature beyond all measure, conceive that there is nothing beyond the capability of what? Knowing thyself. Deathless, and you're able to know all things through Gnosis, all arts, science, the way of every life. You become what? Higher than the highest height, lower than the lowest depth. A mass in thyself, all senses of animals, fires, water, dryness, and moistness. Think of thyself. It's saying thyself. Remember, I got a phrase when you tell you, know thyself. Why? Because thy represents God. So it's saying knowing your God self, your true self. Okay, that's what they gave us the title, Know Thyself. It means know the true self of who you are. And watch this. Think of thyself in what? Like God. In all places, at the same time, be earth, sea, sky, not yet born, in the womb, young, dead, and in other death state. God. And understanding God and being God conscious, meaning you have knowledge of yourself. The mind, I'm wrapping it up, the mind being builder, watch this, thou use the fire as tool for what? The construction of all things. That's energy. But that of man only for things on earth. Man loves physical stuff. That's what the physical body is all about. That's the human instinct. It's natural for that. But your higher self wants and needs more. Why? It wants to go back to where it comes from. Stripped, watch this, stripped of its fire, the mind on earth, watch this, cannot make things divine. Man can't bless you. As I said, you don't need to worship man. He can't bless you. Can't. For, watch this, for it is human in its disposition. In its physical form, your powers is limited. Understand that. Now, as such a soul, watch this, when from the body freed, what will happen to the soul once the body dies? There's a choice. This way or that way. You can go horizontal, you can go vertical. Horizontal is not good. You just slide over back into another body. And during the death, they say, go towards the light. If you go to the light, near death, you're coming back here in this world again. Go down the way. Most people go to light. What happens? They come back here. That's how they tell you the story. So I laugh at that because, yeah, they had it and God pulled them back. So now their whole goal should be what? To appease or satisfy God, at least worship Him. Why? For what He did for them. If it had fought, watch this, if the spirit, it had fought the fight of piety to what? Know itself, aka God, while in the human form, and did what? And to do wrong, to know one such soul will become what? Entirely mine, whereas the empire soul, watch this, will what? Will remain in its own essence, chastised by its own self. It's irate. It's got to pay for its action, and karma will give you what you deserve. And if you didn't enlighten, you deserve another do-over body. Simple. Let me wrap it up. And watch this. Now, those who have learned, became enlightened, right thinkers, to know themselves, watch this. This is all laid out for you, and it's true. Why? I lived it. I know. Those who have learned to know themselves, when you raise your level to that point, have what? Reached that good which doth transcend what? In abundance. But they who through a love, watch this, that leads them astray, ignorant, egoism, wanting everything here and now, watch this, will expand their love upon their body. They stay with in ignorance, aka darkness, and wandering and suffering through their senses things of death. Meaning, you're going to live a human life, you're going to die. You ain't going to become spiritually enlightened, you're not going to You're going to die, and your conscience will be wiped away, your memory will be taken away, and your spirit will go to look for another body. It's just that concept. Moving. Let me wrap it up now. Boy, this thing's long I thought they would be. But indeed, watch this. Now wrapping it up. Indeed, they who yonder, those who what? Live righteous, virtuous life will what? Will join God. When? After death. Those who live right, those who become enlightened, those who know themselves, know God to be one, will what? Join God after death. Ain't that the Christian concept of heaven? We had the concept too, but we did it with knowledge and living. Watch this. We'll join God after death. We'll what? We'll be living gods, punishing who? Anyone who commits a sin. The punishment for sin in ancient times was death to you. If you missed the mark, if you didn't do what you're supposed to do, death to you. Moving on. Indeed, watch this. They who yonder will what? Will stand in the boat, aka the concept of Ra, the bark of Ra, and what? Causing the choicest offering in it to be given to the temples. Indeed, he who is yonder will become what? I ain't got my hat on. A sage in life who will not be what? Hindered from appearing to God whenever they speak. I told you, I'm God conscious. I don't have to hope God show up. Nope. With him all the time. I'm conscious of him all the time. So I ain't got to reach out for him. All of it, nope, he's already there. That's what being God conscious means. Not being spiritually running around, oh Lord, pray the Lord, raise the roof, all that nonsense. Just be God conscious and act accordingly. Acquiesce to every situation you have to deal with in your daily life. That's all you got to do. Wrapping it up. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. Sorry it took so much time, but I hope the lesson was getting through. Watch this. Whoever, listen, this is the part. This is the caveat right here. All this, I'm getting to this point right here. Whoever has eaten the knowledge, meaning you took the time to bring in the knowledge, download that information. They call it eating. When you have eaten the knowledge of who? Of every God of your personality, of your aspect of yourself, that's what we call self-mastery. And when you have eaten the knowledge of every God, and their existence is for all what? Eternity. You don't lose it. And everlasting, where? In their spirit body. The body stays here, but the spirit goes back and joins the other body, the complete body that all spirits got to go back and be joined to. That's the concept. And watch this. What they willeth, they doeth. In this level, in that level of godliness in the spiritual realm, you are unlimited. Why? You're outside the human flesh, you're outside the human body. You can exercise all your powers that you have accumulated while in the physical body. It stays with you through eternity. That's the concept of Gnosis, to know something instinctively because you have experienced. So right thing is, you should have Gnosis of God, aka thyself. That's the lesson. And important right thing is, may you live to be 100, and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that nice right things like you has passed away. I'm out.